Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? A bit of a different video for me. I just wanted to give a sort of review, feedback, how I've been finding my new Kawasaki Z750S. So, as the title says, I've had this bike now just under a month. I know it's probably going to say month in the title, but it's close enough. And I've done about 800 miles on it now, and yeah. What do I think of it? How does it compare to bikes I've owned before, bikes I've ridden? You know, what's the opinion? So, I think it's quite a pretty bike. Your opinion may vary, but I think it looks quite good. Since buying it, here's a list of mods on the bike in white. So in white will be the mods I bought it with, and in red will be the mods I've added since owning it. So I've added the slip-on exhaust, the top box, the lines, the hydraulic clutch conversion, which I'll talk about later. And yeah, again, the full list will be there. Speaking of the slip-on exhaust, let's just do a quick sound check. I didn't want anything too loud because this is my commuter, but while I'm stationary and I'm in the middle of nowhere pretty much, yeah, what does it sound like? So again, it's a 350mm can, the baffles are out, but it's not too obnoxious. It's a nice sound, I think. Yeah, she can still sing. Right, let's get on the road and I'll continue the review. So, like I said, just under a month I've owned this bike. I currently still own the ZX14, so that's my benchmark, I guess, reference point, whatever you want to call it. I'll shut the road, visor down. So yeah, like I said in my initial purchasing of this bike, I bought this just as something cheap to run to get me to work and back, because the ZX14 is a thirsty bike. It's a bit of a maintenance bitch. So how has this been treating me? How does this compare? Also, I've owned the VFR 800, VTEC, and the 5th gen for about a year each. So that's my comparison bikes really. Honda VFRs and the ZX14. For starters, running costs. If you want something to get to work and back, maybe potter into town, this bike, perfect. I'm getting about 160 miles a tank, and it's 18 litre tank, so I'll put the conversion on screen. It's good mileage. For a 750, it's a low stress engine, you can put it in E10, it doesn't care. Yeah, cheap fuel, cheap running cost. It uses a 520 chain, the tyres are easy sizes to find. They're 120/70 front, 180/50 rear. It's just, yeah, sport bike stuff, nice and easy. There's nothing weird about it. Heat grips on, it's quite chilly. It's fuel injected, so there's never that horror in the morning of trying to start it and just having to sit there with the choke on. It does have a choke. It's a fast idle adjust, so basically when it's cold in the morning you just whack that to max. It'll idle about 1800 RPM. You let it sit there for about a minute and then you can cut it up. It's like a choke. It's fuel injected though. So there's no cleaning carbs, there's no balancing carbs. It's fuel injection. It's nice. Feel free to argue in the comments. I've had a carb bike, I've ridden it in minus 20 degrees and it's been fine. Like, that's fair enough. Good job. I haven't. I've actually not owned a carb bike, so yeah, feel free to shout at me. How does it feel handling wise? It's lovely. Obviously it's winter in England right now, so the roads are covered in grit and shit. It's cold, and these tyres aren't my favourite. So I'm on Metzler Roadtech tyres. Once these are worn out, I plan to put Pirelli Angel STs. They're my favourite go-to tyre, the Pirelli Angels. I've run STs on the VFR. I run GTs on the ZX14 because it's a bit heavier. And yeah, they're great. They're nice and sticky, and they get good mileage. It's a win-win. They're a bit naff in the wet, but hey, for the price, they're great. Right, mods, and why have I done them? So, the mods, like I said, were in red that I've added. So the main things are the hell braided lines, EBC sintered pads. This had organic in, and they were low anyway, so I had to change them. Because the front brakes on this thing are a bit crap. It uses 2-pot sliders front, which for a commuting bike, for what I'm doing, it's fine. Like, You're not going to crash into anything. Make sure nothing's behind me. If I tap the brake, it stops. It stops nice and quick. It's just, yeah, 2 pots. It's a bit of a weird choice, and the bolt spacing is 55mm, which only the SV650 first gen share, so you're a bit limited for caliper choices. You're kind of stuck with what you got, unless you do a ZX6 front end conversion, which, why? Why would you spend that much money on a commuter bike? I'm sorry, it's fine. Hydraulic clutch. I've had one cable clutch before on my CBR 125, and yeah, since then I've had hydraulic, and I just prefer hydraulic. So this is using an FJR 1300 master cylinder to a custom-made Hell braided line from an eBay seller. You give them a length and what colour, and they'll do you a custom line, to an Amazon special clutch slave cylinder. You can see there, it's working fine. All I had to do was cut the rod down a bit, and yeah, it bolts straight up. There's no play in the lever, like that's my adjuster when you push it out. There's no like wobble, like with cable clutches, you've got like a bit of slack, obviously, because it's a cable. And you just need to adjust it every 300 miles, and yeah, I just didn't want that. I wanted a hydraulic. And the FJR 1300 master cylinder, as you can see, looks identical to the brake reservoir. So it looks OEM. I think it looks really cool. Again, feel free to argue. I think that's cool. And then the exhaust. Listen, some people hate loud bikes, some people love them. Again, I didn't want something too loud on this bike. It's not a performance bike. It's quick, don't get me wrong. It's 110 horsepower, I think this thing is. It'll keep up with 99%, well, 90% of cars on the road. You know, there's a few fast Audis now, BMWs, that sort of thing. And Teslas, obviously. But for the majority of things, merging onto the motorway, no issue. Going onto a roundabout a bit, you know, a bit dodgily, yeah, no issue. It's enough poke. Let me just kick it down a bit. Like, it's fine, plenty. So yeah, that's the mods I've done and why I've done them. So a bit more noise, I like it. Hydraulic clutch for the feel, brake lines because the brakes are a bit. Sorry about that, I had someone phone call me, which is always convenient when you're trying to do a video. Like I was saying, what's the equipment like on this bike? So, it's basic, but what more do you want? So, you've got your fuel gauge down here on the right hand side below the tank. You have any of your choice of odometer, so that's your total mileage, trip A, trip B, and a clock. It would be nice if you could have a clock on all the time. It's nice to know sort of what time it is. I mean, if you're running late for an appointment or whatever. It would be nice to have it, I don't know, over here somewhere, but it's not the end of the world. I tend to have it just stuck like this. Fuel gauge and my total odometer. Your fuel gauge, you've got 6 bars and then a flashing reserve. Your reserve is 4 litres on this, so yeah, it's plenty. Basically, when you see the flashing light, you have about 30-40 miles of range, which is rather generous. I mean, lets you know sort of how you're doing. Once the reserve's on, the flashing light, I switch over to trip A so I can sort of see more accurately how long I've got left. I do run this bike from full to empty. I don't do sort of little fill-ups every now and then. As mentioned at the start of the video, I get about 160 miles out of a tank. It's an 18 litre tank. I've never run out of fuel, so obviously there's always a little bit left. Again, I'll put the maths on the screen. I think it's about 40 to the gallon, 42, maybe a bit more. Which, again, this is British gallons, so I'll put British, Imperial, kilometres, whatever metrics I can find. The fuel mileage is good. You know, I'm comparing to a ZX14 and a VFR 800. It's triumphing over them both. Yeah, I don't want this video being too long. If I've missed anything and you are generally considering buying one of these bikes, just leave a comment below. Like, just ask whatever you can think of, and I'll try my best to answer. Again, I've only had this bike a month. I'm no expert by any means, but would I recommend it? Yeah. I've before buying it, I joined the Z750 owners group and I asked like what to look for, what are the common issues, and nothing came back. I've scoured the net, nothing really comes back on these bikes. Make sure it's recording. Yep. The VFR 800s are just known for their electrics being utterly crap. The ZX14s are known for warping their discs because heavy bike, strong brakes, yeah, you get hot discs, they warp. These, like, there's nothing really out there. Other than the front brakes are a bit soft, a bit crap, and the suspension's a bit soft at the front. The rear shock's nice. I've had two up on this bike a few times. It doesn't squat, it doesn't suddenly sag down to nothing. Again, it's just the front is just a bit soft. But for a commuter, that's what you want. It's nice. You're nice and sat upright. Your back straight. It's a nice, comfortable place to be. And with the exhaust, it's a Kawasaki inline 4. It makes a great sound. I've cracked the visor open a bit so you can hear it. It's a lovely sound. But yeah, like I said, if I missed anything, that's a bit better. If I missed anything, just comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. And if I don't, I'm sure someone else will. As always, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you're subscribed, you'll be sure to see this bike around more because I don't intend to sell it anytime soon. It's been fun. I can't wait till it's summer and I can actually start throwing it around more. Right. Ta-ra for now. I'll see you in the next one.